Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? Dan McCall here. Welcome to Whatever It Takes Wednesday. This is episode number 22. I'm really happy to have my good friend Franco on here today. Like I said, he's a family man, a friend, entrepreneur. He's the co-founder of Simple Freedom and just an all-around cool guy. And one thing I really like about Franco too is he's a veteran in the online marketing space. He's been around for a long time. And I've been following Franco for a long time. We've done some really cool things together in the past, and hopefully we do some more cool things together in the future when our paths cross and they're right. But I'm gonna get right into this. Let me just check my Facebook really quick. I want to see if I can tag Franco. Okay, it is live on my Facebook, so I'm gonna tag you, Franco, so that so that you can have it live on your wall too.
Excellent.
Okay, awesome. Yep, I was just able to tag you. So just go ahead and confirm that, and then we're going to get right into questions. Do you see it?
I'm seeing the notification right now, so I'm going to go ahead and add it to my timeline. This is cool. I like how you could do that.
Yeah, I like it too. So you got your coffee. I got my protein shake. I just left the gym.
Nice.
So y'all confirm there, Franco?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Good.
So feel free to give me and Franco some love. Hit that love button there on Facebook. We won't be able to see the likes or anything like that on this, but we will be able to see the comments. They're going to come. They will appear on the right side here. So if anybody wants to ask Franco any questions at any time, feel free to ask Franco questions and things like that, and we'll pull them as we go. But I've got lots of awesome questions for Franco too, and we're going to get right into it. So first question, we're going to go right to the core. I love all that stuff. I love your wall there too. It looks nice, man. All those nice pictures and everything. Nice wall color too. The earth tone, but just popped out at me. So, but anyway, I get distracted easy. So who is Franco?
What's that
Where's Franco?
for behind you, man?
What's that? Oh yeah, I got a mess behind me. It's like, what's that?
I see that big strap tape thing. What are you strapping down today? Looks like you're about to box up some stuff and ship.
Oh yeah. I got the 3-inch tape.
Is that if I go too long, I get those across my mouth? All right, let me ask some questions.
Yeah, I'm gonna be like this across today.
Exactly.
That's funny, man. Once I knew I was interviewing her, I was like, I know that me and Franco are going to be talking a lot probably because we've always had pretty good chemistry there. So anyway, back to the question. So like, who is Franco? Where's Franco from? Let's peel back a little bit.
Oh man, normal guys. Normal as you can hopefully get, I think, from a demographic and a generation that is being eliminated. I'm like, it's weird, man. I grew up watching Happy Days, Incredible Hulk, Dukes of Hazzard, following the Dodgers, city kid from LA, California. And that's basically, I was brought up to be a family guy, so I've become a family guy, try to stay on top of the times, and we'll get into the other specifics of stuff, but I transplanted myself. I just couldn't hang with the thinking of raising my kids in the Southern California vibe anymore. So I always had in my thought that I wanted to set up a way. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I thought I'd always have to work in a big city to make, good money and stuff for my family. But I always thought in the back of my head, if I can figure out how to create a good life and live in a small little town and raise my kids in small town America kind of feel, that kind of values and family and just hunkering down and pouring down some roots, that would be fun. And I was able to do that. I met my wife, and she's from a really small town south of Yuma, Arizona. And she was like in shock when I was like all for it. Like, yeah, I'm a San Diego, Southern California guy, but I want to get out of here and go raise our kids in a small town. She was like, no, you're kidding me. Everybody else wants to do the opposite, But yeah, man, just normal guy, family guy. I've been working hard for a long time, and we figured out how to create our own money using the internet. So it was just a learning experience for many, many years. And I didn't get tied down to any one model. I've tried pretty much everything you can try on the internet, just so I can find my fit. Dan, like you, man, I've seen you try different models, different places and stuff. The one common denominator is we're online and just, trying to find a good fit where you can get a message across, create some income, help people, serve a market. And, I would say the last 5 to 6 years, even though the actual things we promote or the programs have changed here or there, but the core has been stable. I've been looking for solutions that are as stable as the way I want to build. We've never had a problem building and marketing, so we were just looking for solutions that kind of fit our mold. And so we've been happy for the last 4 or 5 years and stuff. But that's me, man, just normal, getting up every morning, working hard, and trying to take a message to the market that other people can resonate with.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. And I definitely can relate to that too. Just trying lots of different things out and just seeing what fits. It's something that I always tell people. People always say like, oh, well, this guru said this and this guru said that, and they don't match. And and it's like, I always say like, just find the point that they're endeavoring to make, because it's just like I always think of this every time I start talking about things that are controversial and stuff like that. It's like there's like the one saying like, good things come to those that wait. That means patience, and then good things come to those that don't wait. That means go take action. So they mean opposite things, but they're both good points. And being in the online marketing space and the entrepreneurial space in general, there's lots of different ways to do things, and lots of different people contradict each other, and it's just important to. I think it's just my own personal opinion. I think it's important to kind of find, what resonates with you and what's best for you and what you feel in your heart, right? So I got a cool question for you, Franco, and you probably hear this all the time, and the questions got easier for me, and there's no right or wrong answer to it or whatever, but what do you do, Franco, when people ask you? What do you do? What's your answer these days? I'm just curious because I know.
I love it, man. My answer is I stay as unemployable as possible. That's what I do. I make money online. I stay unemployable as possible, psychologically unemployable. I'd rather be a dad making money full time at home on the internet than what I used to be, which was I was a cubicle soldier, man. I was right there in the cubicle. Watching everything via email or voicemail happen in my life. Hey, so-and-so just did this, so-and-so just did that. And, okay, I'm at work. I can't. Begging to be able to take a 1-week vacation, dependent on other people I don't even know and really like, determining where I can live, what zip code, where my kids can go to school, where I can go have dinner and where I can't have dinner. The other side of that equation, to me, got to be so frustrating that I had to take some shots, and take some risk and take on some failure and stuff. But what do I do these days? I stay as psychologically unemployable as possible, because that's how I stayed free. And I show up. It's that paranoia. You show up to work every day, no matter what kind of mood you're in, because you're psychologically unemployable. The torture of having to go get a 9-to-5 to me it's not for everybody. You don't have to think like I do, but I don't know. I think thinking like that or buying into that story myself, just me, is what's allowed me to have that feast or famine attitude. I have to go out there and make it happen. I got to go hunt and bring back some buffalo to the fire every night.
Yeah, you're a hunter.
Hey, but getting back to your guru question, it's so true, man. On the internet, it's a paradox. Everyone's right, everyone's wrong at the same time, all the time. You can ask 17 quote unquote gurus or whatever the same question on the internet, and you're going to get like 21 different answers, and they're all going to be right and they're all going to be wrong. It depends what kind of routine you're looking for. What's going to make you feel good about what you do and what doesn't work with your skill set or strengths. That's why I tell people all the time, try everything, join everything, go buy everything. I don't care. We're gonna go through the money anyway. So just try stuff. Try different models or do whatever you have to do to get that out of your system. That I tried different things, and based on that, even though maybe they weren't all wins, they weren't all losses, but I liked this way better, and that probably suits some of your strengths, and go really pound out your strengths. Go really develop and focus on your strengths. So yeah, 17 questions to gurus, you get 21 answers. It's all good. Everybody's got their own personality and their personal quirks and stuff, but just find a fit, and then get good at it.
Love it, man. Love it. I appreciate your perspective. It gives me, I love talking to people like you. It gives me more clarity about different things too. It's always, it's like I always say, there's always a higher awareness to information. You know what I mean? And that's why it's good to talk to lots, other people that are, that are producers and that are taking action on a daily basis. So let's get into your morning rituals and like what you do daily, like your day-to-day DML. Like what's that like for you, Franco?
Yeah, well, my morning ritual. What I almost forgot about this interview right now is my morning ritual. I saw on my phone we were about to head out. We were about to head out to go get breakfast, and I got a trip coming up right now, so I have to do some things with the car, make sure the tires are all inflated, oil change, all that good stuff. So we have to pick up a piece of furniture down at the other side of town and bring it back before we leave, so it's not something we have to do when we get back. So I've got a little list of to-do things, and I was looking at my phone, and then I saw your notification. I said, oh, man, I got to wash up and actually put a shirt on that's decent. Get on this.
No holes.
Yeah, I got to put the suit on, But no, so morning rituals, to me, it's very important. When I don't pay attention to what I know my morning ritual is, it's funny, but the whole day will kind of be off. The energy in my day will be off. I won't come up with anything that I focus on as a message or a piece of content for the day. And that doesn't have to be all scientific and hard. It's just something that you flow with. I won't, decide which piece of news I want to kind of talk about and throw out there to mix it up on the good old Facebook, But the morning ritual to me is I wake up and immediately I grab the current book that I'm reading. Right now it's some futuristic book by Harry Dent. He's trying to predict what's going on with the whole global, economy thing and where people should be, in his opinion, positioned for the changes that he believes are coming. Then he backs it up with some data. So I'm reading a book all the time because that fuels me, and the book gives me like a broad idea of something to talk about that day. And then I'll take the idea from whatever I'm reading, and it doesn't matter what kind of book it is. I'm just reading stuff that I like, and that'll take me to Twitter. And I go to Twitter before I go to Facebook. And I go to Twitter because I can easily search a hashtag about stuff like global economy, or I'll see a headline like 25. I saw this yesterday. I think it was on Drudge for a minute in red ink or whatever. And it said something to the effect of, and these are the ones I love, 25% of Americans don't have anything stashed away for an emergency or something like that. And then there was another headline on that same site that said something to the effect of Americans are the ones that deal with anxiety the most out of the whole industrialized world, the first world. Americans are the most stressed, most anxiety ridden. So I take pieces like that from what I'm reading. I go find headlines or what's being talked about on Twitter. These days, it's been a lot of news because of the value and the whole sexiness of the whole Bitcoin thing. So I'll search for things that I'm involved with, and I'll look for news items to back it up. And then I've got a piece. And so this is all like in the first 15 minutes of the morning. It's fast. I'm just talking about it, so it's slow. But it's really fast. Whatever I'm reading about, I go to Twitter. What are people hollering about there? And that gives me an idea of what to do. And then after that, I just leave it. I just leave it in my brain. Girls get up, if it's like right now, there's no school going on. So we'll make a little breakfast. I spend a ton of time with them. And I'm not saying like it's 1,000 hours, but the hour or the 2 hours that it is in the morning between like 7 to 9. Because, kids, man, no matter if they don't care if they're on vacation or not, they're going to wake up when they wake up. It's usually like 6:30 or 7. They're jumping on your bed. Hey, Dad, let's do this today. Let's do that today. So I'll spend a good chunk of time with them, and breakfast is like our time. And then that takes me to about 8:45, right before that. At 9 o'clock, I show up on Facebook. I drop a post just to have something there. And then I go, the way I do it, I go to my blog or I open up video like a Camtasia or something like that, or do a live stream on YouTube. and I'll do my video for the day. So that video then becomes a blog post, and then I send an email to my list, and then I get stuff done from the to-do list, the honey-do list. Then the rest of the day, basically, to me, is mine, and I'll read, I'll review news, whatever is going on, I'll do. But that's basically open time or talking back with messages or questions, or handling prospects and teammates and helping them hook up funnels or whatever I got to do, maintenance kind of the rest of the day, but no hardcore schedule for it. And then at night, I know people start getting off work in the East Coast, around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock my time. People really start getting home and stuff. So that's when I kind of do the same thing over again. I create another piece of content, post something on Facebook, see where the conversations are going, and that's the day of a social media and affiliate marketer, man. That's basically a rough routine of what I do.
That's great, man. That's great. That was just full of a lot of great nuggets, man, for people that want to plan out their day and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people out there that have had a lot of success online, and then there's a lot of people that haven't had a lot of success online. And I know the people that haven't had much success, are curious, like, what are these people doing? Like, what are they doing day to day? Like, how do they wake up in the morning? And I love what you said, about, reading first thing in the morning. That's something that I do, but I just listen to audio instead. I don't really read too much. And then I go to the gym first thing in the morning, and that's like my Monday through like Saturday. So, and I keep it structured like that, but, I don't know if I do as good of a job as you do with content, and I like your ideas, so I'm going to work on incorporating some of that kind of stuff.
Well, that's a good point that you said. To me, listening to podcasts is the same as reading. Sometimes I'll just reach for my phone, from the end table, put the little headphones on, and just put my favorite podcast. I love podcasts, and these days, because we have pretty decent connection anywhere we go. I've got unlimited data on my phone, but even Wi-Fi's are everywhere. But it's available everywhere. So now I can say, a lot of times I treat even YouTube. I got some channels that I subscribe to that I like their content. And even YouTube, I treat it like a podcast. Even sometimes I'm not watching a video, but I just put something on and I'll just listen to it. But yeah, that's the same as reading to me. Anything to get the juices flowing and get you some ideas to talk about. Sometimes they can be controversial, Not everything I post on my Facebook, I absolutely 100%, I'm not posting it because I endorse stuff, but I know it's going to get the conversations going, and sometimes the people kind of, let me say it loosely this way, sometimes your haters are your best friends, because if you post something that is going to be a little bit, whoa, I don't believe this, I don't believe that. That's great. Come talk about it on my wall. Because then a lot of other people show up, and people that are interested in your point of view end up going through your info. It's okay. So I'm pretty light about that.
Yeah, cool. Great points that you made too about controversy and stuff like that. I mean, it's. I mean, look at politics. If you can make half the country hate you and the other half love you, you have a lot more followers than anybody else.
Yeah.
So this goes to show you the power of controversy. So somebody might have 1,000 or 10,000 followers on social media, but I mean, when you stand for something, and if you can get half the world to hate you and the other half of the world to love you, I mean, you actually have a lot more influence, and you're able to do a lot more good. Just like the whole saying of if you want to help the poor, don't be one yourself. That's another reason why it's good to create wealth, so you can help people. Same thing with, I think the same thing with controversial stuff. Like if you want to be able to help people and do more and make a bigger difference in this world. I mean, it's good to just talk about what you stand for, and have a strong opinion. I think, from what I see, and I think you see the same thing.
Yeah, so, I mean, the one thing you don't want to be on social media is boring. I mean, if everyone on social media is kind of going after the attention span, and attention span is very, very short. And if you're just blah, blah, like, 10,000 other people at the same time, you're going to get not seen out there. So that's what I've learned by actually watching people, whether you follow like a Tony Robbins or a Gary Vaynerchuk or a Mari Smith or an Amy Porter. And those are completely different personalities. You're not going to get Amy Porter dropping F-bombs like Gary every day, but at the same time, they both command a following. There's some people that agree with their points and other people that don't, and that's fine. But what they're not is they don't sit there and bore their audience to tears all the time, and so that's something that I've learned the hard way in social media for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that whole thing of like trying to please everybody, and it just makes you boring. Like just you're trying to please everybody, and you're so afraid to like share your opinions or afraid to share anything, your business. I heard you say it one time a while back. I think it's a really good piece of advice. You said, one of the biggest secrets about having a business is to not make your business a secret. I heard that from you. I don't know if you heard that from somebody else or not, but I remember that from you particularly.
Actually, that was the social media version. The original version was in real estate, when my real estate broker used to tell us, you can't win in real estate being a secret agent. You got to get out of the office. You got to get on the street. You got to hug some babies. You got to meet some people. Go to the swap meet. Go to the market. Meet people. But yeah, you can't be a secret agent. Definitely not in social media. Oh, a lot of people try to be. They're in situations where they can't be as raw on social media because they might get fired. You never know these days, man. I have to remember, people, they're in 9-to-5 jobs, and their superiors, they believe many times that they own your social media because it can reflect the mood of the company, and all this crap. So there's a lot of people that really can let loose like you and I can, and I respect that. So I try to come up with ideas to teach that will still give them the ability to maybe share other people's content in a certain way. But there's just some spots where I just say, dude, that's exactly why you need to make money online, man. You can't do nothing with my training if you can't post what you feel sometimes, but from case to case, I have that conversation a lot. And that's unfortunate, but I do have that conversation more times than I like to have, where people feel they're not allowed to post certain things. So then we got to go the other way. There's other ways to do it that won't get you fired. But at the same time, if you can really let loose, you can get more eyes on your message because it's going to hit home with more people.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you probably feel some pain when you're having that kind of conversation. Like, oh man, you're limited. This sucks. Like you need to be able to be like you got. I mean, like what makes? I always say, like, when people do business and things like that, I'm like, well, what makes you different? Like what makes you different? Like what's different about you than the other 100,000 reps? Like you got to come out. You got to come out. You got to put yourself out there. If you don't, you're not going to be successful. Because it's not easy. It's not easy to to work for yourself and be an entrepreneur. It takes courage. You have to go out there and put yourself out there.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
but to entrepreneurship, like what got you into like being an entrepreneur and like working for yourself? Was there anything that triggered it, or do you feel like the whole Gary Vaynerchuk thing, like it's always been in your DNA? And like what like, was there a point in your life where you were like, I'm not working for anybody else, this is it? Did anything happen to you?
Yeah, kind of. When I was a kid, I grew up and I would go to my cousin's house for every summer that I was allowed to go down there in San Diego. And we were very entrepreneurial as kids, right? We were mowing people's lawns for money. We had a paper route down there for multiple years. We were washing people's cars. So that's always been part of what I had been doing. I never knew how I was going to do it as a grown-up, but I had already been doing entrepreneurial stuff. But I went to the military right after high school. And through the military, I saw one form. There's one side of it that I absolutely 100% red, white, and blue loved it. The green side of it, right? The patriotism and the esprit de corps and the camaraderie. I loved that. Always being challenged, trying to be up there with every other guy in the unit. I love that part about it. I did not like the bureaucracy part about it when you had shore duty and you were back and you weren't out in the field. I love to be out in the field, actually in action, doing stuff. I didn't like the way it was kind of run, the way you had to do to survive inside of it in the back, right? The bureaucracy, the office politics, all that stuff. So I saw that. So I got out and I went to work in the medical field. And I was an administrator of a surgery center, multiple locations in Los Angeles. And that taught me that, rose to the top fast, because no matter what I was going to do, I was going to give 110%. That was number one. You're putting your name on anything you do. I don't care what you do right now. If you're serving meals at a Denny's diner or whatever, do 110%. Put your name on it, right? Let that be your name, become so valuable. They hate to see you go. That was no matter what, that's what I did. But at the same time, it gave me a chance. There was a couple of employees in the office that I was, they made me a manager real quick, because in the military, we had more training than their civilians did in these clinics. We had a little bit of both sides. So that was cool. I became like an administrator. So I had a couple of people. I was 23 years old right out of the military, and I have people that are reporting to me that are in their 50s. Two people. They were in their low and mid 50s. And, mama didn't raise a fool. I began to look and see how they were living. These are people that have been doing that for over 20 years. Have a good job. It was like what everyone else called, that's a good job. You're a technician. You're getting, back in the day, this is the mid 90s. They were getting paid like, 17, 18, 20 bucks an hour with full benefits. Everyone thought, wow, that's unbelievable. That's great. And in the 90s, it was probably better than today. that same money. But anyway, what I saw not that I cared about materially, but I cared about if I take the same path, because I was at the top. There's no other place I could have gone. And the administrator beforehand wasn't living almost any different than those technicians in their 50s. And she retired because she was 60. And so that was it, and I was 23. And so I saw the future. I saw what they were driving. I saw how they were living. I saw how they basically had to beg for a day off if their kid was sick. I saw where they were living, where they couldn't live, how they didn't take vacations. I saw the future, man. And I had to be very real I had no time to say MLM is a scam, those rev shares are a scam, the internet is a scam. I had no time to mess with myself and say that, because I was looking at a scam. 20 years and winding up like they were, it was legit and they were in mainstream, but they weren't loving life. They weren't loving life. They were just dealing with life, surviving, So to me, when I started coming to kind of open up and see what else I can do out there, and I would hear people go, oh, that's not legit, that's a scam, oh, those things, oh, my uncle was in those things. I would then right away, I never had that problem, because in my mind, I would stay polite and professional and say, all right, good. But in my head, I was like, you're nuts. You don't see the scam everybody else is in? You're in a scam right now. It's just going to take you 30 years to figure it out. I mean, that was just my opinion. So I saw the future and I said, I got to do something else. So I was looking in the beginning of the internet, it was like 94, 95, and I was online and I thought my first avenue was going to be, I got to learn how to invest. These people, their problem is they never learned to invest, right? So I got involved with Investors Business Daily, the motleyfool.com, and I started following all this stuff and I started learning investing. And I thought that was going to be my out. I was going to take my money, learn how to invest quietly, become rich, and get the hell out, right? Well, in the middle of doing that, I saw an advertisement that said, best entrepreneurial training in the world, documented, right? Become an entrepreneur, work for yourself, blah, blah, blah. It was an ad, like a banner ad on Yahoo somewhere. And I chased it, and it wound up being nothing having to do with like entrepreneurism. But what it was a company called Northwestern Financial Network, Northwestern Mutual Financial Network. They sell life insurance and like mutual funds. But supposedly they had the best sales training in the world in their industry and outside of it. So I was like, well, you know what? If I'm going to do anything like this, I better learn how to be entrepreneurial. I was reading Robert Kiyosaki's books at the time, and they were telling me, no matter what you do, you better learn how to sell. You better at least learn that trade and learn those basics, because you may need them just to get a better job. Sell yourself into a better job and network and compile a Rolodex of contacts, all those skills. So I decided, what the hell? I'll just go. And I started going to their training, and man, I cut cold turkey. I had a little bit of savings, like 2 months worth. And I was like, I love this stuff. I'm going to learn how to sell this. Mutual funds, I'm going to be like the wolf on Wall Street. And so I started, but what they didn't tell me was, no, you weren't going to be a sexy stockbroker. You're going to start by selling life insurance, term, get on the street. So that's how I got involved. Long story short, I was prospecting. I met this cute girl. Long story short, she becomes my wife. She's selling real estate. So I'm like, hey, I'm
Nice.
working harder than you. Well, you're going to Laker games with clients. You're going to Dodger games. It looks all more than your commission, like to the moon. You're getting $5,000 and $10,000 commissions. Here I am slaving on the street. And if I sell a policy, they give you the whole first year premium upfront as a commission. I'm making like $1,000. So why don't I learn how to sell real estate with you? And that's how I met Pammy, and we started working together. And then from there, one day, I was thinking, well, heck, I could only sell real estate in a couple of zip codes, really, but I got a buddy of mine that sells loans. What if I learn how to use the internet to find prospects for loans and refinances and give them to my buddy, and he gives me a point or whatever, a percentage of the deal, and I can learn that. So I started going, this is where I ran head into the world of affiliate marketing back in the day when it was just getting going, before there was any term called attraction marketing. And I met a couple of guys. They were young. They were in Lamborghinis. It was stupid. I was like, man, this is unbelievable what they're doing here. I got to learn this skill set. To me, everything was a skill set. Being a corpsman in the Marines was a skill set. Working in office was a skill set. So this was just, I got to learn their skill set. That's all I got to learn. And then I met some guys that were doing it with network marketing, and I saw the leverage in that. I love affiliate marketing, the independence of it, but I like the leverage of building networks where you get paid overrides. So I was like, hey, I'm going to learn how to combine this. And then that took me on a roller coaster ride, learning attraction marketing, direct response marketing. So that's my journey, man. That's how I discovered this joint. But
Yeah,
this way
that's
we can
awesome.
sell and be at home, so it was better for me.
Oh, love it, man. Love it. It's good to get to know you better, and I know a lot of people watching this are probably thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. It's cool to get to know you better and know how you went into all the stuff and the online marketing and with your journey as an entrepreneur. And it's cool that you met Pammy like that too. I didn't know that part either. That's pretty cool. So
Yeah,
that's funny.
she
You're
was
like looking
working
at her
for
like she's doing all these business lunches and stuff like that, and I'm not. So
yeah.
that's awesome. So that kind of that drives me into this other question here too that'll probably go in your family a little bit too. I imagine. What motivates you, Franco? Like what gives you drive, man? Like what gets you up in the morning? What keeps you
Oh,
looking at the ceiling at night when you're in bed? Thinking about what you're gonna do, man. Like what's
well,
your
talk about, a lot of people talk about these compensation plans or whatever, how you get paid online, right? Man, the best compensation plan in the world, if you're a family guy like me, is being able to generate a full-time income lifestyle, six-figure income lifestyle, and be there with your kids every day. But that's just me. That's my comp plan. My compensation plan is being able to say, hey, we've got a meeting coming up in Vegas. I'll be speaking Saturday, Sunday. Grandma's in Vegas. The kids are out of school. Pack up, let's go, and doing stuff like that. And instead of leaving Friday for a quick business trip and coming back Sunday and racing back home, what were you doing? What'd you do? How was it? And having to tell the story at home. It's cool for me to say, let's pack on Thursday. Let me get the car ready on Wednesday, and let's get the heck out of here and spend a couple of extra days before, a couple of extra days later, and whatever happens, happens. My motivation is being there to raise my own kids. And it seems, cliche or whatever, but that really is what it is. And that's the only thing on this planet, being there with my wife and my kids every day. That motivation is the only thing on this planet that motivates me to absolutely buy in 100% to doing whatever it takes. If there was anything else, it'd probably be easier for me to go bowling on a Tuesday. Probably be easier to go watch Monday Night Football and slam down some beers with the boys. But wanting that so bad for all these years, and then after that, it becomes a lifestyle. It's grown into who I am. I like to be this family that stays home with their kids and raise our own kids, man. There's crazy stuff going out there when you let the system raise your kids, however you think about it. But I wanted to be there, period. So that's it. I mean, that's I don't sit here with, vision boards of Hawaii, and I love it. I love to travel. I love all the other stuff. But I feel, this is just me, I don't need a vision board around me all the time because I play with my kids. That's my vision board. It's like 4D, it's 3D. You know,
Yeah, that's great.
because they grow up so fast, man. I have a daughter that's 24, 25 years old, and I know how fast that happened. And they get to a certain age where, you're still daddy and stuff, but you're not hero. You're not the hero anymore, right? And they just go and start building their lives and stuff. So I know how fast it can go. Right now, that's my comp plan. I just want to be the hero as long as I can.
Wow, that's so great, man. I love that. It really resonates with me a lot too. I have a 13-year-old daughter, 10-year-old daughter, 6-year-old son, and my 13-year-old's already kind of getting away from me. She's like a teenager now already, and I just love those times with my kids. Like just being the same thing here. Like just being able to be with them. And when I think of a job, I think of pain. I think of pain. Like I think of clocking in and being somewhere for 10 hours and not being able to see my babies when I want to see them. So I could totally resonate. I totally resonate with that, and I think a lot of other people can too. And I think it's, I think a lot of people just, a lot of people that get into the online marketing space and things like that, or any kind of entrepreneurial type of space where they can come and go as they please, do what they want, when they want, with whom they want, be with their kids and stuff like that. Just aren't very clear about that, about their why and why they're doing what they're doing, and maybe some of them just don't. Maybe some of them, just don't value that same thing. The mean you value there too. I don't really know. Maybe they value some of the other stuff, like the fancy cars or the trips and all that stuff. I mean, everybody's got their different values, right?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, man. I don't judge anyone. I'm like, hey, if that's what's going to make you, do whatever it takes, great. Go for the Lambo, go for the private jet ride, go for the Fiji, extended month vacation. Get the suit, don't get the suit. I want people going for whatever they want, But I'll tell you what doesn't work: pretending that what you want is what you want, and it's not. It's just what your guru said you wanted, or something like that. Something like that. So
yeah,
I think we're living in an age where, if you can be authentic and go for what you want, if you go for something that you're just faking, you're not gonna get it anyway, and you're not gonna do what it takes anyway to get what you really want, because you're faking yourself out. Is what I believe. So whatever people tell me they really want to go after, I say go after it. You don't have to agree with what I want. And I don't have to agree with what you want, but we can still crush it on the internet working together. That's my whole thing to them. But I feel you got to find something that really, really, really becomes a purpose in your life, kind of like a crusade, a cause, a movement, a one man, a one movement, a one woman movement. And that can grow into multiple people with their own reasons. But yeah, don't fake it. Don't fake it, man. I mean, you got to fake a lot of stuff at work anyway. Why come home and try to build your own thing on the internet and keep faking stuff? It doesn't make sense, and it doesn't allow you to do the things and go through the adversities. You're going to buy some ads. You're going to buy some traffic that's going to bomb because your lead capture page wasn't linked right or something. You're going to go through something. I don't know what you've been doing, but you can sell stuff on Amazon, and all of a sudden Amazon could say, no, we don't want you to do that no more. Or we changed this thing no more. And you're like, oh, I just did, a whole week's worth of freaking, getting ready for this campaign. And, you're going to go through stuff. If you're doing it for fake reasons, it's going to be very easy to say, well, this didn't work for me, and quit. And the program becomes quitting, joining and quitting, and talking bad about everybody else along the way. And the program never becomes, crushing it and winning, and truly winning. So I focus on winning, man, whatever it takes to get people there. I don't mess with the drama. I don't judge other people. That's why you'll never see me really go around there and, bash other models or programs or this or that. People are going to learn. They're going to learn. Life is going to teach them what they really want to do, and I just let it ride.
Yeah, I find that quality in a lot of people in leadership positions. Where they, you don't hear them. I mean, there are people in leadership positions that do the bashing thing and stuff like that, but I find a lot of people that I talk to in leadership positions, they don't do it because they don't like people bashing, makes fun of them or bashing them. It's like. I just sold somebody an information product recently, and they were like, talking trash on the last person they bought one from, and I was like, oh great, I'm going to be the next person he's talking shit on. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? I'm like, I put my heart and soul into this little mini course that I just built, and I'm like, he's probably going to be talking shit on me, but whatever, you know, just. You know, it's like you said, you just have your why and you just keep pushing forward and if your why isn't strong enough, like you said, and you touched on it a little bit, it's like, once something doesn't work out, that's it. You're gonna give up because the reason why you're doing it was, that advertisement, you're like, if you did an advertisement or, a funnel was broke or something like that, and you sent 100 leads to nowhere or something like that, it's like, and I've done it, man. I've made so many mistakes, Franco. I've made so many mistakes. I've had so many painful mistakes that have kept me up at night. I'll be as real as I can here. But this is my favorite question that I ask everybody I bring on here. Oh boy. If you could go back in time and give yourself advice from when you first got started, what would it be? So you're going in a time machine. Franco's in a time machine. He's going back to meet the old Franco. What kind of advice would you?
Yeah, good question. Number one thing that popped to my mind is have me learn all of the most brutal, painful lessons faster. Instead of taking 16 years for him, it should have taken in the first 2 years. That would have been cool. So the torture of 16 years of constant lessons, because it never stops and it won't ever stop. And that's cool. That's why you just fly. You just fly. You develop your principles, your values, and the way you like to work, and everything else has to fit into that. And you just go. And nothing's a surprise. But yeah, learning my lessons faster. Number one. Number two, learning this game that a lot of people don't learn. Most gurus or leaders or, that give even me, whatever, I'm not calling myself a guru, I hate that, but people use the term, right? I'm not that. I'm just a marketer, dude. I'll show you what I do. If you like it, do it. If not, no big deal. I'm still going to do it. But learning that most of these people have agendas, and a lot of times they're giving you advice based on the path that's going to benefit them with you, and not really just giving you advice on what's good for you. If I would but, if you talk, if you see, if you watch, and if you follow 19 different people that are doing stuff, many of them will try to give you advice that are in line with their agenda. And not that you have to be rude or anything, but if you can pick that out and say, okay, what's in line here that would be in line with his or her agenda, not really mine? Is that congruent? Can I take 80% of what she just told me and maybe, eat the meat and spit out the bones, and kind of dispel the stuff that doesn't work for me? That's cool. That could have sped up my path too. But that's what I would say, man. Just speed up the whole learning curve thing. Just get through it. If that would have been faster, and learning how to isolate other people's agendas from really the actual nuggets that I was learning, because I learned something from everybody, but there were times where people try to guide you to just do what's good for them, and maybe that wasn't the best for what you wanted to do. And it's tough because in some models they're kind of constrictive, and if you're going to play the game, you got to play their way. So also knowing that, learning more about the models than you do about the actual projects and products and comp plans and those nuances, but learn more about the model as a whole and see if that's going to be fitting into what you want to do. But other than that, man, just have thick rhinoceros skin. Just don't let nothing get to you. Nothing's personal. People are just trying to get paid, or they're learning, or they don't know things. They're pretending to know things. And don't let it be so, oh my God, I'm tired of the industry. I'm out of here. Let me take a leap out of my front story window onto the front lawn. Oh, don't take it so seriously,
Yeah. Awesome, man. I love that. It reminds me, I get a different answer every time I ask that question, and it's great because it's just like lots of perspectives and just sharing like what comes off your mind first, and what you said reminds me of what Tony Robbins said about him speaking. He said he was talking about compressing time. You probably know what I'm about to talk about, and you just talked about like, some of his competition were doing meetings like, doing speaking engagements like once a month, and he was trying to do them daily. So like in like 30 days time, it was almost like 30 months experience, So like if he actually did one every day, like that's what it would be. So like you touched on that, and it's really powerful. So it's a really good share. I appreciate you saying that, and then talking about having thick skin too. We already talked about a little bit about that as well. So great advice and insight. I definitely appreciate it. So Franco, you're pretty known for like for getting leads and stuff like that. So what's the best way to get leads, man?
Man, talk about what I just said.
I know there's no exact
agenda, right? Hey, talk about what I just said. That's a loaded question. But no, I'll tell you, man, because of my feudal attention deficit disorder, right? And not like scientifically, but just funny. I'm just scattered all over the place. I'm not a technical, analytical guy. Never have been. Don't ask me what my conversion rates are. I've never cared. I just care with the people that care, right? I care about the people that care, and I talk to the people that are like, hey, I like your site or whatever. And I really am not an analytical guy. So I've never gone to analyze Facebook. I know it could be great. I know it could be awesome. I've run simple ads and traffic from Facebook, and that's great. But at the end of the day, what has fit me is I'm the funnel guy. I create a mini funnel. I noticed that no matter what program or what community or what system I was in, everybody has a members-only Facebook group these days, right, where everybody gets dumped into. And I would listen, I would pay attention. And this is like years ago, even when we met, I was already in this vibe, right? And I've been teaching this forever since we met. Same thing. I'm not going to say anything different. I would go into these communities, these environments, and I would notice that the vast majority of brand new people had the same questions, no matter how step by step everything was laid out. I hear the same question. I'm lost. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. How do I get started? How do I get leads? So I figured I had one of those aha moments. I'm like, why do I have to worry every day about what am I going to teach today? That's like, you want to get even more wow, every day with a different thing, Instagram, this, that, whatever. When every day I'm hearing 99% of my market is telling me they don't even know what to do. They don't know how to get started. So all I have to do is show them how to get started every single day. So in a different way. So it led me to only talk about that, and that led me to always having people that were resonating with that question, flow through me. And so that led me to become a simple funnel and simple traffic guy. And so I create simple funnels, little lead capture page to offer free information, and people come in and watch a video or whatever. And then the follow-up is all about follow me on Facebook so they can feel open to ask me questions and getting into the environment. And then for traffic, I have one friend right now, one guy, because he hasn't failed me, but we worked together back in the Empower days. His name is Clay Montgomery. I'll give that name out. Who cares? Sure. I'm not an affiliate. I don't get paid at all for sending people to him. But I found one guy that I know and I like and I trust. We've worked together in programs before. He began to sell traffic. And to me, it was the kind of, it might not be what the kind of traffic people need here too. That's the other thing. I don't know if it's for weight loss or this or that, but for what I do, showing people simple ways to make money on the internet, affiliate marketing, beginners. It's the kind of traffic, it's been the best quality and really good price. And he's always there. He serves me well. And, so I send my whole team, everybody there, it's all over my blog. But I found a way to create simple funnels and just get direct traffic into them. And because that was a necessity. Remember what I was saying about the people that are in 9-to-5s that really, they don't tell you for a long time, but finally they'll tell you, I just can't do what you do on Facebook because I'll get fired. Then I go, oh, you should have told me that. Okay, check it out. You need to do this for a while then. Just get traffic to a funnel and get results that way. Won't be as spectacular as the way other people do it, but if you can't be on social media and really do the thing, this is another path. And then once you're making money, you can, flip the bird at the boss and then do social media your way, So I had to come up with a different solution for people that couldn't do the social thing. So I said that at first. And then once a funnel is receiving traffic, then I spend my time on social media teaching people how to meet new friends, turn strangers into buddies, and post stuff that'll get them, walking through your funnels and stuff. So, but that's how I do it, man. Just direct traffic, simple little funnels. I've tried all the funneling systems. I've had a lot of people that are way more technical than me, and they know how to create their own blogs and websites and funnels and this and that. And I tell them that's great, but if you're going to be in my game, 99% of people are brand new, and they're not going to know how to survive in that thing. A couple of the other big guru systems, they're more expensive. They're beautiful. I like them better technically. ClickFunnels, Lead Pages, Thrive themes. I use Thrive themes, but they're not as duplicatable to new people. It creates more work for me. So I had to look for solutions that are like good enough to pull people in that would work and convert leads, but easy too for newbies, not just, technical power bloggers and, all that stuff. So it's been a journey, but that's what I do. Simple funnels, simple traffic. And then, now let's go play on social media,
Awesome. Yeah, it's cool to listen to you talk about it. I could tell you're passionate about it, and that that you love to talk about it, and that you're used to talking about it, and used to that kind of conversation. Do you use your Facebook? Do you use your Facebook a lot for like for turning your cold traffic into warmer traffic, like sending your email list? Maybe Facebook posts and Facebook videos and YouTube videos on your YouTube channel and things like that. You use that.
Yeah, that's a big secret.
I think a lot of people miss out on that. I've gotten pretty good at converting like cold traffic into warm traffic into hot traffic and sales. But I feel like that's been like one of my secrets of doing it. Like this, like I'll post like a storytelling kind of post on Facebook, and then I'll email my list just to for them just to get to know me, because I already know that I have autoresponder stuff that's probably hammering them with sales stuff, and you know what I mean. So I'm like when I'm doing my hustle, you know what I mean. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get them to know, like, and trust me, and I don't have as much experience doing it as you do, but that's something that I do. That's cool to hear the reassurance that you do the same thing and you're pretty good at it. So
yeah, 100%, man. That's the main reason I use Facebook, really, and that's what I teach. Everyone is I use Facebook, and I'll stick a post of what I'm having for lunch every now and then. A lot of times it's Pammy has to post and tag me for my family post to even make it there, because I get really focused on using it. Number one, as exactly what you just said, I use it to warm up my cold list. So I get traffic, throw it at an offer, at a funnel, and then immediately I say, come follow me on Facebook, because I want them to get to want to ask me questions. I don't want to sell stuff through email or even in a funnel. My goal, if that happens, that's great. It happens a lot. But my goal is to have people from a cold market get to my Facebook and have that need, that want to have a conversation with me. And that happens with what I use. And number two, then I also use my Facebook as a communication tool for my team. So a lot of times you'll come to my wall and you'll see my post will have like an all caps headline. It'll say team update. Hey guys, I just did this new getting started video for this program. Go into the group and check it out. And I do that on purpose because my team sees it, so I can get them to training without, hammering them on the phone one-on-one and finding them. And number two, anybody else is going to see it, and people that are coming from my list, they'll see that I'm offering getting started training, stuff like that. So those are the two main reasons I use my Facebook. For exactly what you just said, warming up my cold marketing, and communicating with my team. That's how I do it. And that generates a lot of new interest too.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Really good. So this is going to be I think I'm going to make this my last question. I got two here that I want to ask. So I'll just throw them both at you, and you can answer them. Okay. You can flow. Book recommendation, and is there anything that not a lot of people know about you? So that's like this last two.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of things people don't know about me. It's going to stay that way. Great. Yeah, I'm really, man, if you only knew, my life journey was that of an introvert, man. I'm an introvert at heart. I would much rather be right there in my little corner reading a book and never touch Facebook or any of that. I'm really not one of those social extroverted butterfly guys. But for business, I had to learn. I had to learn how to put myself out there on video and create a little podcast or do things, especially when social media hit. I knew it was a future. I had to do it. But, oh, man, sometimes it's like, let me wipe the sweat off my forehead. Okay, let me disappear for a couple of days and just read a book, But, yeah, man, I guess that's one thing to know for me. I'm actually, by my character, by my DNA, I am an introvert. And
Does not seem like that at all either.
Dude, man, I'm an introvert. Notice when we were at a lot of live events, you would see me and then you wouldn't see me. You would see me for like 5-10 minutes when I had to do the whole hug everyone and take pictures. And then all of a sudden I'd squeeze Pammy's hand and we'd disappear for the rest of the day, man. And I remember hearing Rob Four, I don't know if you remember, Rob Four said that same thing and blew my mind on stage. You know, I was at an event, I think it was either MLSP or Empower, one of the two, because he would go to both. And, you know, Rob Four is like, oh, Rob Four, you know, SEO guy. Well, it made sense. He's an SEO guy, you know. He started going to these meetings because he found himself in teams, right? But he goes up there, he does a great talk, real honest. And then he says, guys, I had to leave at the last event early because I had an anxiety attack where I was outside under a palm tree sweating and I just had to bounce. I had to get out of here. So I can relate, you know. That's one thing you don't know about me. And what was the other thing? I forgot.
The other one was any book recommendations?
Oh, yeah. You know, for people that are just starting out, and even if you're not, I in a lot of times when I teach how I use Facebook, I tell them, you know, this book was written about 100 years ago, but if you can just go back into what it teaches and apply it to Facebook, it's the best Facebook marketing course ever. And that's the old-fashioned Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think because of, you know, especially in the last couple of years of politics and Twitter in general, the Twitter culture has taught an entire generation, and now even older people like me are all into this stuff, but has told, I call it the troll culture, you know, trolling and being snarky just to be snarky. And because they think it's cool across all platforms, you know, you see something and no matter how neutral or positive, whatever, they got to do some shit talking, you know, and they got to troll everybody. And it might attract you an audience and depends how you sell and what you're selling. But if you're wanting to build networks that work together and build teams of different people from different places, different perspectives, different personalities, not the best, you know, not the best. You got to, a lot of people don't know how to behave like respectful adults anymore. You know, they show up and they think they could just troll everyone on command on social media. And then they go to live events and find out that shit doesn't work in real life. You know, it's like somebody's going to find and say, hey, remember me?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking sometimes when people talk to me. I'm like, you better...
the things that they would never say in real life, right? So I like to go back and teach people. You know, a couple of the books that will teach you those old school tactics again. There's some people that can cut through marketing like butter. And no matter what, they can turn a stranger into a friend. They can have you in their funnel. You're believing their stuff. You're buying. You know, you're following them. And it's because they know those old school tricks. So How to Win Friends and Influence People. Here's another one. It's more deep. It's deeper into the mindset stuff, but what you can do with your own thoughts. The Master Key System, you can find that for free, you know, online. Master Key System, Dale Carnegie, the classics. You know, I get into the newer business books. Right now, I'm devouring anything on cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, that kind of stuff to learn, you know, what's going on there, how to position there. Obviously, marketing, social media, what's going on with social media. But really, if you don't know the basics of how to turn a stranger into a friend, and then the other thing, man, Dan, can you imagine if we had the golden bottle that we can just give this elixir to people and it would teach them how to turn a stranger into a friend using social media? Would you ever need to point them to marketing training? Never. You know, never, dude. I'd have to change my model. I'd have no more customers because that's one thing that I found, that when I do that, it doesn't matter what marketing I know or don't know. When I turn a stranger into a buddy on Facebook, it's a done deal. If they want to make money online, they're going to flow through, you know. So the classics on human relation skills, and apply them on social media.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Great share. So we're gonna end it here. Last thing before I end it and close it out. What are some ways that people can find you, Franco?
My Facebook and my blog.
Unfortunately, I was able to tag you right here on Facebook. So for the Facebook crowd, this will be uploaded on my YouTube channel too. So that's why. What's your YouTube? Your YouTube and your other.
YouTube it's all Simple Freedom. So simplefreedom.info is my YouTube channel. Simplefreedom.com is my blog, and then Franco Gonzalez on Facebook. That'll lead you everywhere. On Twitter, I tend to get more political, drawing in people of a certain mindset. So if you don't like hardcore, edgy politics, although I've been changing my Twitter to collect a lot more news on the stream of cryptocurrency because I'm into learning that. So that's what I have on my Twitter. But Facebook
That's
and
cool.
the
It's
blog
hot.
and the YouTube channel.
Yep, it's hot right now. So awesome, man. So thank you very much for coming, Franco. I really appreciate everything. I definitely feel like I've grown and got a better, higher awareness and information here, just hanging out with you, bouncing off of each other. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to Whatever It Takes Wednesday here. That's my big philosophy in life, whatever it takes. I know Franco resonates with that too. We've talked about it before. This was episode number 22. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in, and I hope for you guys to tune in next week. Be sure to follow Franco on his Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye.